We are live at the Oxford. We are Joel Hawksley, David Washington. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. The Oxford here in Altamont Springs, Florida. The Oxford is the sports bar or sports pub and secret society. And Joel and I are Jay in Washington.
And if you're looking for Jay in Washington, you're looking for a company that cares about you. You're looking for a company that absolutely wants to share that information with you. We want you to be the best prepared. We are only as good as the clients that we bring in. If you're looking to run for office, you can get excellent political consulting because you also get public relations. So we're here to do the best job for you. And we bring you this broadcast because you need to understand you can't make this shit up. If you're trying to run for office, people are always in your ear trying to tell you what's going on. And David and I have heard the same stories over and over again. And we finally came to the point where a whole conversation, we said about 5 to 10 times in the first 2 minutes, you can't make this shit up because
that's true.
You lose 10 IQ points, and it's us that are going to get those IQ points back to you when you run for office.
That's true. It's hard to believe. Well, no, it's not, because a lot of times people come to us, potential clients come to us, and they're not familiar with the whole political campaign, cycle or how campaigns are run. And so people get into their heads, or they see something on television, or they make some assumptions that most times are not right. And that's why you need the professionals. If you want to do this right, you want to do this right the first time.
Yeah, and it's just like so I know you want, and I know you read the news. I mean, we have to because of our job. But
correct.
You saw that the Orlando Sentinel mentioned that our Orlando mayor is running his first sixth term, 6 times. There's a charm, and they made that announcement. And think about the people that will run against him will not get that same coverage.
Of course not. I mean, the mayor has the
bully
pulpit. And, wherever he shows up, when he, comes out of his house or out of his office for any type of ribbon cutting or press conference, the media is going to show up. And that's that earned media.
That's earned media.
Yes.
So you end up, if you're running for office, the reason you're raising so much money and the reason we're asking you for so much money, it's not because you're actually paying us some exorbitant amount of money. It's because everything that we have to do harder to get you earned media, you have to pay for it. So you're paying for advertising. You're paying to get that mailer out. You're paying because nobody knows who you are. So if you can't raise money and you can't do that, then you might want to start a whole lot earlier, because if you start a year and a half in advance, if you start early enough, people are going to get to know you. You're going to be at more events. You'll get more time to talk to the media. And once they know who you are and they know you're competent, I mean, they see the mayor every day. And if the mayor gets a good challenge, like he did the last time with Sam Ings was a sitting commissioner, and all of a sudden they turned him off. They turned everything because he got a little bump in the fact that they said he was running, which was unusual. So it was kind of unique. And then you didn't hear anything.
Right.
After that, they cut the media. I'm going to say this right out. The media cut Ings off at the knees because the mayor still had opportunities. Ings was still in office, so he had opportunities, but they would go to a mayor's event way before. Now, and people don't understand. Ings was working on everybody. He went out to the Republicans. He went out to all these different things. If you wanted to talk about a story, you should have talked about Ings going to a fundraiser. And absolutely, it was a Republican fundraiser, the Lincoln Day. How many Democrats step foot into a Republican event because he knew he needed the votes. So, I mean, he reached out to Democrats, he reached out to independents, he reached out to Republicans. He gets no momentum because nobody wants to talk about that. And if they did, that could have hurt his campaign too. But I think it was fantastic that he spent that money because he didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to change the title of this podcast.
No. That's I'm just getting into that because we're going to talk about guns, right?
Yes. However, now that we are into this topic, let's examine the Sam Ming's campaign then, or this. Let's look at this in a general sense. The Orlando mayoral 2023 campaign election, and so going back to Mayor Buddy Dyer. He does have the bully pulpit, and he has name recognition for the most part. If you ask people in Orange County, who is your mayor? Who is the mayor of
Jerry
Orlando? Deming. They'll say either Jerry Demings or they don't know.
No,
and I've heard that. I've seen that.
He's been here forever.
And so, there is that problem, a good problem for, a candidate like Sam Ings or anyone else who's already filed for that position. The turnout for the city of Orlando elections are under 18%.
It's way under 18%.
And it's amazing that if someone had taken the time, because you're right, getting into a race 6 months, 8 months before the actual election typically is not going to win you the race unless you have a great deal of name recognition or a populist idea or event that people will jump on, or you have a ton of money. I mean, a ton of money. And even then, that doesn't help. So for anyone who's running now for Orlando mayor, that election is in November of this year. Yeah. They should have been running actively, campaigning, not just filing for the position or and sitting there saying I filed and everything. They should have been actively campaigning, talking to the community, letting the community know that there is an election for mayor. It's very important. If you're not satisfied with what's going on right now, you want to fire the current mayor, here's an alternative. Here's your alternative choice. This should have happened back in February of 2022.
When we were running those campaigns trying to get people elected, this is a campaign where somebody should have been in there getting their name out there, because everybody goes to the polls and then they call you up and say, hey, I didn't see your name on the ballot. And you get to tell them, that's because I'm not until November of next year. And the reason I'm out right now is because you're out right now.
Yep.
And nobody's out right now. Nobody's looking for you.
No one.
And think about it. It's not March. Most municipal elections are done in March.
Correct.
No matter what, it's like, this isn't a November election. Oh, because everybody knows November's election time. No, they know it's election time in an even year, but not in an odd year. So, I mean, the everything's stacked against you. That's why you get a team like us.
Right.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to tell you who's coming out to vote. And then we're going to tell you who you could actually get out to vote if you do the right thing. Right. Because these are Buddy Dyer's employees that live in the city are basically going to go to the polls because they all know it's election day. Exactly. They all want their boss to stay there because change is hard.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people downtown that have no freaking clue what's going on. And if you told them there was an election to get rid of Buddy Dyer, they'd be lining up saying, you know what? It is time for him to go. Look, term limits is one thing every single person I ever talk about. Everybody loves term limits. I'm one of the minority when it comes to this. I just don't understand. You want term limits, but you don't want him termed out.
If you want term limits, I believe in the voter deciding who stays in office and who replaces those in office.
Oh, I think I've always
thought. So, that's term limits. People need to be active. Voters need to be active.
Yeah.
Citizens need to be active. So if the incumbent in this particular situation is not going to advertise that there is an election, is not going to be out there actively campaigning. And so the onus is on the opponents like the Sam Ings campaign to make a big deal about this election, to be out there actively talking to people who typically would vote but don't necessarily know that there's an election in 2023.
Knowledge.
And so, that's again, that's where we come into the picture, is because we know where the votes are. We know how to get after the votes.
Mhm.
We know what's needed to galvanize a voting block. However, you got to give us time. I mean, I ran a campaign with just 17 days and actually won the vote on election day. So, I mean, it's possible, but it's difficult.
It's a very difficult
It's
thing.
difficult.
So like David, you said something that I think was missed by the people watching the broadcast. I mean, because it blended so well to your conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Term limits. Voting is term limits.
Yes.
If you believe in term limits, you should be an active voter, because we should not be forced. We should not be forced to send people out of their job.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to be watching. It's our job to tell them it's time for them to go. And that's why we need you to be a better voter. Because if you were a better voter, these term limits would exist right now.
We see you, Sam Ings. We're not on contract yet.
No, but
we see the rest of the candidates for office. We're here.
Look, I spoke to a gentleman. This week. We've been trying to get together for a while, and he's a big supporter of Sam Ings, and he didn't think that he was under the impression that Buddy wasn't going to run, because he's basically said this is his last time. And I had to remind this individual, well, it is his last time. If he wants it to be his last time, but the election is this year, so he's running. So the look on the man's face is like, well, whatever you need, if he gets in the race and he does, and he does go with you guys, let him know he's got an endorsement right here. And I know there are people out there that will do the groundwork for Sam Ings. I know there are people that don't want the mayor. Now, if the mayor hires me, I'm sorry, Sam. He has all the money, so but I do. He's not going to hire me now. He's going to say these guys.
He's going to watch this like that Joel Hawksley.
Well,
I don't know.
He's probably trying to get his son ready. Because if his son were to run, think about it. Dyer would be the Dyer. We'd never have anybody.
Right.
We would never have anybody without it.
Never thought about that.
Think about Chicago.
The dailies. Oh boy. But in wrapping this up, we are celebrating our first year anniversary as Jay in Washington. April 20th is today.
Happy anniversary.
And it's a celebration of a lot of accomplishments and a great vision moving forward. The different entities and projects that we're involved in. Again, we've said this before and continue to say it, spectacular. I'm really looking forward to a robust 2023, 2024, 25, 26, so forth and so on. But happy anniversary, Joel.
Happy anniversary. Let's talk about, in just 1 year, the amount of stuff that we have on our plate that we want to share with you. We have 3, now 4, because you're down doing one on Monday. Podcasts.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
We have 4 podcasts. I mean, it could be 10 seconds, but it's a podcast. It's that's every Monday. I want everybody to know.
Right. Content,
it's content.
What is it? Countertop
politics, which is
right.
fun.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Of the secret sauce.
I make sure
politics.
I click in there so you think somebody watched it. No.
Yeah.
No, we want you out there. Like, we want you on our show. We don't care. As long as you bring something to the table, we want you on our show. And I mean, I don't care. We haven't had a Democrat step up yet. And I'm disappointed because
I mean, we only had Jimmy Afon. However,
but Jimmy Afon,
right,
Jimmy Afon is
he's
our
a political
friend. He's already a
and
political.
yeah,
But I reached out to Carlos Gamo Smith. He's a great guy. I don't know
Right.
why he's afraid to sit down with me, but I mean, he's like, well, I'm not in town. Well,
we don't have to do.
I don't have to have you
Right,
here. I can
right.
send you a link. And it was truly something I wanted to talk about because there was Trans Visibility Day.
Mhm.
So I know
That would
nothing
have
about.
been a good
I never
conversation
know.
to-
I never know how to tackle these conversations.
Right. That
I
would be a
I
great
would love
opportunity
to.
for
I
him.
told him I would love to sit down with you and talk about it. And it was the day before he was making. You can't make this shit up because I find out that he makes an announcement either next day or 2 days later. I mean, he makes it on a Holy Week
We've
announcement,
had that conversation.
and I'm like, wait a minute, Carlos, you had the opportunity to speak before you made that announcement,
Mhm.
to put it out there to our community that you are active and you understand the LGBT community better than anybody, and you could have educated me and my audience.
You make a good point because we've tagged members of the local party, the state party. Word, there's no doubt that word has gotten out through social media, through word of mouth about what we're doing. We have enough material out there for people to review. We've gotten potential clients who said, "I've seen this particular segment, and yeah, I want to work with you all moving forward." We're here at the Oxford. We're all over the place. I
David,
mean,
everybody knows where.
in,
Listen, everybody knows where we
County
are on
Watch.
Thursday.
Right.
I had to make an appointment for somebody because I'm like, I know where I am on Thursday. I don't know what I'm doing on Friday because this is a tough week. I mean, I'm going out trying my best to meet these people that any one of them that can get that donation for political salsa, that get that donation. We need to get you guys involved. So we're busy out there. So this is the one time I'm here.
Right.
You can find me if you and if you're a political leader and you're a Republican, I'm going to see you tonight. And if I don't see you tonight at the SecRec meeting, I'm going to be very disappointed because this SecRec, I had that episode. Bring that episode up if you want to. Politics in Seminole County right now is, I'm going to say it, you can't make this shit up. It is upside down and backwards.
We'll be reaching out to, different influencers, politicals, electeds, moving forward into the summer.
I want Anna.
And, we've got the state legislative session ending soon. So we'll love to have Anna Escamani, David Smith, Carolina Amnesty, Rita Harris, our local Central Florida,
especially since they're making
representatives come and give us a rundown of their successes or their not so successes in this legislative session, and give the public another medium to learn more about the different laws that we're passing. We're not
help you.
What's right. In the future.
We help you. You help us. You're the name. You come on here. People want to hear from you, not on that, oh, I got a spot on the news for a whole 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a whole 30 to 60 minutes. Jesse Phillips said he loved the format. He got to actually have a conversation about what the hell was going on in Winter Spring. Yeah. No other place has given him that opportunity. So we're giving you the opportunity. No, there's no hardball questions. I might ask you something and you can just refuse to say it, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. I want to talk. I want to know about the LGBT community. I want to know these things, and I can formulate a better opinion, but I can't do it if you're going to hide from me or you just think, oh, he's a Republican. I've shook your hand before. I've never said anything bad about you in front of your face.
Let's give them all the benefit of the doubt.
Listen, I think
we have open arms. We welcome you with open arms. We'd love to have you here.
Democrat,
liberal,
Republican,
conservative.
I'm not going to change my ways, but I'm going to listen to you. And that's the thing. We listen, you tell our audience, and we'll be successful. Like it, subscribe to it. You're going to be able to see one of these episodes is going to be that episode you want to see. So I can't make this shit up. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to celebrate 1 full year with under the J in Washington banner, because the Washington is the best part of the J.
All right.